Pharmac is axing its Māori Advisory Board, Taropu, which was established in 2022, following a damning independent review of the agency and health and outcomes for Māori, Pacific and people with disabilities. It consisted of 8 advisors made up of doctors, pharmacists, researchers and directors at a cost of about $75,000 a year. The chairperson of the drug funding agency is Paula Bennett, and she joins me now. Paula, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah.
It's been a long time. Good to talk.
Yeah. Good to have
So
a chat. Yeah.
Paula,
So
what is the
you gotta
reason? What's the reason of axing Te Rōpū?
Yeah, look, Taropu's done a great job, and oh my goodness, when I sat in that room and met them all and heard their professional experience and what they do, to say that they are a extremely professional, intellectual group of people is an understatement. So, Leah, they're impressive, right? But as an organisation, we equally needed to sit down in the board and get that advice on where are we at now and what do we need to keep moving, Pharmac forward. And they had done the advisory that was, in the opinions of previous chairs and reviews, had been done around equity, but done internally with a Māori directorate. They'd sort of done a lot of that advisory work. The next that we need is not really internal Māori direct advice to the board. What we need is better interactions out on the road, if you like, and making sure that people have access to the medicines that they need.
I mean, I get it, roles come to an end and that's part of it. But did they know, like you told the group about a month ago, they were only together a couple of years. Were they surprised, Paula? I mean, did they know it had a kind of relatively short shelf life, or did they think they'd be there for a bit longer?
One of the co-chairs certainly said to me he wasn't surprised. And certainly what people had been saying to me, and let's remember I've only been there 5 months, but had been saying we need a better direction of what Te Rōpū is doing and what they should be doing, So hence looking into them and going, okay, well that's good because we're not in tick boxing here, Leah. I'm just over that, so I'm not going to keep people on, for the sake of it. It has to be meaningful for them and it has to be making a difference to the organisation. So one said he wasn't surprised, the others were, and of course, then given time to reflect, I can understand that they feel a bit hurt and I understand that they probably wanted to stay, which is what they've been saying. But I've got to make the big calls, big job, big calls.
Big calls, big chair, you sit in it. Paula, you've said, I'll go back. In July, David Seymour, as Association Health Minister responsible for Pharmac, told them to ditch treaty considerations. Is getting rid of Te Rōpū, this advisory group, a response to that?
No, it wasn't. So I think what the Minister said was quite different. What the Minister said is you don't have responsibility as an organisation for Te Tiriti. And, that's quite different than saying, because we do have a responsibility to make sure that there is, that there's equity and that people can get access to our medicines. And for some, there's not. And that is at times Māori, and it is those with disabilities and those that might live more rurally. So we do have a role to do, but I think his was quite different. It wasn't as such saying, we don't want a Māori presence or work going on with Māori within the organisation. It was more saying we don't think you have a role to implement the treaty. Yeah,
because I actually went back and heard an interview just before I started my show today, Paula, and in his words, he in the letter of expectation, he said he thought it was not an appropriate goal to entrench the treaty into the organisation. That's what he said. So why then? Why are we engaging with Māori as a priority, or is it a priority?
Well, in some cases it is, but for different medicines and for different reasons. I had a full day with patient advocates about 10 days ago, and what an amazing bunch of people, by the way. Most of them volunteers and advocating on behalf of people that need access to life-saving medicines. And when you talk to them, for a lot of them, their disease groups, there was a prevalence of Māori getting that disease. So if we care about all New Zealanders, then we should care about them getting access to the medicines and the preventative care that they need.
Agree. agree, but I mean, Pharmac only gets so much money, and granted, it is a lot of money. But, you know, their job, though, is to represent the health outcomes of all, is it not?
Yes. So don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that they should get special treatment or they necessarily need special funding. What I do think, though, and I do think we should be doing it as a wider country, is if we do care about all New Zealanders, then we need to accept that we're not all the same, and that there are different ways that you communicate and there are different ways that you have access with different people.
Okay.
And so you get what I mean? So, you know, we
Yep.
might, if we're wanting to get in and do some work around medicines and make sure that that they're getting the kind of access, you know, we might do that quite differently through marae or through Māori health professionals. You know, some we might even do in Te Reo, you know, as well as English, obviously, but because it actually, you know, is a safety for them and we want them to have access to what they need. You know, so there are different ways that we might do
Right.
this. It doesn't mean different money. It doesn't mean putting more emphasis or anyone being special. It means
I
just
get it.
doing something for everybody.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
So just to be clear, Paula, you're saying they're not getting a special medicine that we may not get, but it's how they receive it could be different. Could be different.
Yeah. So no,
Yeah.
definitely you will never see a medicine coming out of Pharmac while I'm here that says this is just for Māori, or, you know, they get
Yeah.
first go at it or anything like that. That's
Okay,
certainly
get
not what
first
I'm
go at
saying.
it.
Okay, let's just be very clear about that. But what I am saying is there may be different ways that we communicate, that we give access, and that could be for people with disabilities, that could be for people that live more rurally, that could mean, you know, we care about how our medicines are administered and we care about how they get to the people that need them.
Okay. And also to be clear, Pharmac still has partnership arrangements with 4 Māori health professional bodies. Is that correct?
Yeah, and we need to strengthen them.